We're happy to have Ryan Armstrong and Stephanie Dobson back with us. Thank you guys for joining us. You're becoming regulars on the show and we really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Stephanie, we're going to start with you this time. We're always talking about the legal clinic and also about the information night. So we're going to talk about March. Let's talk about, first of all, what's planned for March.
So upcoming in March, on the third Thursday of March, which is March 19th, we have our legal advice clinic. So that's one-on-one legal advice, an appointment with a private lawyer. And that one is by appointment only.
Okay.
So you have to call in. The phone number to call in is area code 587-789-0727, and that's a local number for both Alberta and Saskatchewan residents.
And one thing that we talked about is you encouraging people to call well in advance, because there are some things that have to be checked out. You can't just really call the day before and hope that you're going to get in. So how far in advance can people start calling for this if they like?
So people can book in any of our legal advice clinics for all of 2020. We've got all of the dates planned. They're always the third Thursday of the month. And the thing is, the lawyers, we have usually about 2 or 3 lawyers who volunteer in each of our clinics. And if we know ahead of time that there's a bigger demand, then we can just scout more lawyers to come and help us. So the more advance notice that we have, the more likely it is that you'll be able to get in.
And when they call, what are some of the things and some information that they should have available for the person they're speaking to on the phone?
Well, the intake worker will ask a bit about their situation, so the kind of law that they are dealing with, and then a bit about the actual problem that they're experiencing. And they'll ask names, probably birthdays, that kind of thing. But the key is the income guideline, and so they'll be asked quite a few questions about what their income is, and the idea of these clinics, because they're free, it's to serve a certain population. It's typically for the population that makes too much money for legal aid, so it's beyond the legal aid cutoff, but they still aren't making enough to be able to afford a privately retained lawyer.
Okay, and at these clinics, is the subjects, is it wide open basically? They can ask about anything?
So the idea is it has to be planned in advance to make sure that the type of problem that they have, that we do have a lawyer that can provide that kind of advice. Typically it's around family law, criminal law, landlord-tenant, employment-related issues, but that's not a limit. That's just the similar kind of, the typical kind of things that we see at our clinic.
Okay, and then for April, Ryan, I'm going to go to you for this one. This is actually kind of a nice thing to have, because it's basically open to everybody and it's just an information night. So what's planned for April?
Yes, so again, it's the third Thursday. It's April 16th, and it's landlord-tenant issues. So generally to be residential, landlord-tenant, of course it could be commercial. You don't have to phone or register in advance. We encourage you to show up ahead of time, perhaps on time. It'll start right at 5 o'clock that day. And there'll be a lawyer speaking on the issues of landlord-tenant matters. And there'll be an ability to ask some questions, but generally the lawyer's got a presentation set up, and so it's not specifically tailored individually, it's more generic in terms of the questions that are being asked and answered.
Can this also be used for a platform for people if they don't know who to go to for a lawyer, and maybe this is some way that, yeah, we have an issue, we kind of want to feel it out, and then we attend this and can find out who we even contact to get things started? Yeah,
that's a good point. Actually, it would be a good way if someone thought that they had an issue and perhaps were too tentative to call someone or didn't know who they should call around. Local bars usually pretty good that way, but certainly the presenter would be able to point them in the right direction, or at least let them know whether they had an issue, and they could choose whether they want to explore that further or not.
Okay, and we're having a change of venue for this too. You're going to be going to a different location for this event.
Yes, we are. So our first 3 clinics this year, January, February, March, are in the Community Services building. The City Lloyd's decommissioning that building in the middle of this year. And so we are very proud to announce that we are partnered with Lloydminster Public School Division, and we will be having our clinics from April forward at the Lloydminster Public School Division head office.
Okay, and Stephanie, I'll just go back to you. In regards to both the clinic and also to the seminar, why is it so important that, I mean, you guys have busy lives and busy jobs as it is. Why is it still important that you get involved with these community events?
Well, this has been building for about 4 or 5 years now, and the results that we've seen from it, from helping community members, has just been amazing. And especially with the downturn in the economy, it's really important to us to make sure that there are legal services available. we are finding more and more that people aren't able to afford the services, and we want to make sure that we can do our part to give back. And we're thrilled to be sort of organizing, be the key organizers to it. But at the same time, it's the local bar who's really stepped up to volunteer at all of these events, the clinics, the education seminars, volunteer to present. And so we're thrilled that it's the whole bar really in Lloydminster who's helped us, and surrounding areas as well.
Okay, and just one more time, Stephanie, too, for people who want to call and sign up, and as you said, they could sign up ahead of time. What is that number?
Okay, it's a local number, so it's 587-789-0727.
Okay, well, thank you guys once again for joining me today, and thank you for what you do in the community. I mean, I've talked to a number of people who've made use of this service, and I found it very helpful. So, you know, a lot of people are very appreciative. So, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.